your topics as well. And if there are any other topics that I feel are important for your coming exams, especially the MPSC State Services mains, I will give you the write ups. I have been giving you the write ups. I'll again post some different write ups. I think I've already told you that I'll be posting something related to development, so I'll be doing that. And I'll be also posting a write up on environment, so that we cover all the theme based essays as well. Today's topic is simple. It's translation and Pressy writing. There's not much that I can do, but there's a lot that you have to do in this topic, because it is your inputs and your practice that is going to matter. I can just give you the important points to focus on, but translation and Pressy is all about practice. So remember that you have to practice a lot when it comes to this topic. So let us begin. I will share the PDF with you. Can anybody confirm if I'm audible? Can you listen to me? I hope I'm audible. Yeah, please comment in the group so that I know that I'm audible. Okay, okay, fine. Okay. I've shared the PDF with you all. Please go to the PDF and we'll start the lecture. So let us begin. Uh, I'll give you a short introduction to the new people who are in the group. This is English descriptive course taken by me, Hetal Pagare. I have been selected as deputy collector through MPSC State Services 2019, and my score for the descriptive paper was 41 on 50. So this is my initiative of sharing my strategy and my ways with you all, so that you can also score more than this. And what worked for me, I keep on sharing with you, so that you can use it according to your convenience, and you can definitely score a very good score, even more than mine. So this is a small way as to how I can help you all get through the exam. So let us begin. Let's come to the translation Pressy writing. Now there are some things that you have to follow. First thing is, this is all about practice. So translation and Pressy is not something that can be taught to you. It is something that you have to practice. So there is not much that I can do to help. I can definitely tell you how to minimize your efforts, and how to use your channelize your efforts in the right direction. But that is all that I can do. But you have to practice a lot, and I will tell you how to practice and where to practice from. So today we'll be solving one translation, and I'll be telling you how to write the Pressy also. So I'll be discussing 2018 paper here. So first thing first, where and how to practice. So first thing is the newspaper. Whenever you read the newspaper, you have to go through the newspaper in the sense of translation and Pressy. So if you find that there is a very good article in the newspaper, there's a very good editorial on maybe development, economics, environment, polity, anything related to topics which are there for you in GS, in your general studies, you have to see to it that you translate it, or you try to write a summary of it. So when you do this, you're practicing for translation and Pressy writing. So, reading newspaper again very important because your vocabulary is also going to increase from the newspaper. You're going to know about the words and the words related to competitive exams from newspaper. So, definitely do not forget to do this. Do not neglect your newspaper, especially the English newspaper. Even if you do not read the whole English newspaper, if you're following a Marathi newspaper like Lok Satta वगैरह, uh, do remember to read at least the editorial part of the English newspaper. During my preparation, I followed two newspapers. I used to read The Hindu and I used to read Lok Satta. So you have to read two papers for the very language paper that you have. So remember, even if you're not reading the whole English newspaper, do read the editorial part, and especially the editorials that are important for your exam. The second thing you have to do is previous year question papers. Now, previous year question papers, I have emphasized a lot on previous year question papers in every lecture of mine. So, remember that previous year question papers are very, very important. You cannot neglect the previous year question papers. So, please practice at least 5 previous year question papers. Try to solve the translation Prezi. At least you have to do the translation and Prezi, and it's not going to take you much time. So do practice previous year question papers because they are going to play a very important role in your score. So second thing is previous year question papers. Third thing is class test series. Now you can follow any test series of any class, and you can just take the paper, sit with it, brainstorm, think, ponder on it, and frame proper sentences, frame good sentences. Do not give a time limit to you when you're practicing. Take your time, do it at your own liberty, and try to translate it with word by word, try to translate it with proper words according to the context. So class test series are for this very reason. So you have to take any paper, you have to sit with the paper, and you have to try and translate and do the Prezi writing. So that is another thing that you have to do. So translation and Prezi, even if it's like only 15, it's not only, but it's 15 marks and 10 marks, you cannot neglect it. You have a very good chance of scoring uh, 11 or 12 plus in translation, and in Prezi a 5 plus. So if you want such a score, you have to practice. There is no other way to it. Then other thing that I always tell you is to try to cover at least one topic related to one para related to each topic. Like there should be a para that you have translated on history, there should be a para that you have translated on geography, polity, social issues, economics, environment. So you are holistically prepared even if they give you any kind of para and passage to translate. So that is one thing that you should never forget. You have to cover one topic. Like, do not go on translating too many paras related to only polity or related to only social issues. Try to have a diverse kind of topic. So if you have covered a passage on polity, next time do not do the polity one, try the economics one, try the environment one, try the technology one. So that is another thing that you can do to practice translation and Prezi. Now, next thing, let's just come to Prezi writing and points that you have to follow while Prezi. You have to write the Prezi. So, you have to read the comprehension carefully. Whatever passage they have given you, read it carefully. Take your time, understand the passage, read it properly, give it time. So, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and read the passage carefully. Because if you understand the passage, then then you can write it very fast and you won't waste time in thinking about what else should I add to this passage or how should I proceed with it. But if you do not understand the passage, then it's going to be very difficult for you to complete the Prezi writing. So it's important that you give time for reading. Do not neglect on this part. Do not be in a hurry to read it and just start writing. Remember, reading is more important than writing, because if you read properly, you will understand very well, and then you will be able to write it in a concise manner. Because Prezi is all about how much and how well do you understand the passage. So remember that. Second thing, note down the important points. When I say note down, you can just underline the important points so that you do not miss out on the important points. So remember to always underline the important points so that you cover those in your Prezi. For this, you have to at least read the Prezi twice. So I would suggest you to read the Prezi twice, try to understand it, but definitely remember the time management as well. You have to not give it more than 20 minutes. So your Prezi should be done within 20 minutes itself. So remember that. So all this has to happen within a span of 20 minutes. So give 5 minutes to reading, give another 2 3 minutes to reading it the second time, because the second time you'll read it a bit fast. And then note down the important points, underline the important points, and see to it that you cover those important points in your Prezi. So do not miss out on the important details. So when you're writing the Prezi, you should see to it that whatever you've underlined, whatever is important, you have not missed out on those points at least. You have to cover those points no matter what. Fourth thing, you have to understand the theme of the passage. So when you're underlining the important points, remember to understand the theme of the passage, what it is exactly about, what it is talking about. Is it about trade? Is it about India and China's specific trade? What is it about? So go to the very core of the Prezi, go to the very core of the passage, and try to understand the theme of the passage and what are the important points that you should not miss. So that is when you understand the theme, you will not miss out on the important points. So try to understand the gist of the passage. Sorry. Keep your sentences simple and concise. Do not make complicated sentences because you do not have space and time to do that. Keep your sentences very simple. If they've given you many things with commas, if they're talking about different things, if there is a lot of repetition in the passage, do not repeat it. So you should not repeat those things. You have to keep the passage very simple and very concise. Avoid long and lengthy sentences. Do not use long and lengthy sentences. Keep your sentences very short. Follow the word limit that is there. If it's said 1/3, you have to write only 1/3. You cannot go beyond that. So remember to just follow the word limit. Be very precise in whatever you say. Because Prezi is a way of judging how you will be as an administrator, basically. So, how will you see to it that your subordinates get to know the important details, and how do you concise your whatever instructions you want to give to your subordinates? How well you can concise those instructions? How well you can communicate those instructions to your subordinates or to your colleagues? So that is what Prezi is all about. So Prezi is actually testing how well you can summarize an issue, how well you can see to it that you cover the important points, you let go of the unimportant points, and how precisely can you convey what you want to say. How precisely can you convey the instructions, convey the points to your subordinates, to your colleagues, to your seniors. So that is what Prezi is all about. So remember to be very precise, very concise, and compact in your approach towards Prezi. Avoid grammatical mistakes. So, how to avoid grammatical mistakes? Keep your sentences short. If you keep your sentences short, your mistakes are automatically taken care of. You won't make more mistakes because there is less of grammatical use that you're doing. So, there are no conjunctions and stuff, so that will help you avoid grammatical mistakes. So do that. Do not write lengthy sentences. Keep your sentences very short and simple. Then do not make any assumptions. Now while writing Prezi, it is possible that you assume some things, you have your own judgment or you have your own opinion on the very topic. It is possible that they give you a topic which is known to you, because it can be something related to general studies, and it is mostly related to general studies. So it is possible that you know many things on the very topic that they have given you. But even if you know those things, if those things are not written in the passage, you should not assume those things and you should not write it themselves. So please stick to the passage and what the passage has given you. So only write the things that are in the passage. Do not assume, do not make your own assumptions, and do not write your own inputs in there. Whatever knowledge you have, just keep it to yourself. Do not put it out there because you know something on the topic. So do not make any assumptions. That is one very important thing that you have to follow. You have to not make any assumptions about the Prezi, about the passage. So just stick to what they have given you. that you can reframe in your own language, in your own, the way you understand it, according to your understanding, but do not make any assumptions when it comes to pressing. Okay. Other thing is, do not add your own information or opinion, the same point, but here I want to focus on opinion. So they do not even want your opinion as to what you feel about this passage. They just want you to compress the passage into a smaller version of it, so that it is easier to understand and it's easier to convey. So do not add your own information or your own opinion to the passage. We do not want your opinion. It's just pressy writing. Just compress the thing that they have given you into a shorter form. Then another thing you should follow is short forms should not be used. So pressy writing, you have to be very, very professional when you're doing pressy writing. You should not use any kind of short forms. That is not going to help you. So avoid short forms. Even while now short forms, even while writing essays, I would want to emphasize that short forms are a no. It's a big no when you're writing a language paper. So do not use short forms. Even if it's about exams, write examinations. That is the full the word. So use the full forms. Do not use the short forms. Short forms are a strict no when it comes to a language paper. So especially in Pressy, you should not use short forms at all. Then there is avoid idioms, quotes, phrases. Now, in essay, I tell you to write quotes, but here I'm going to tell you to not write quotes and not write phrases, not write idioms, even if you know any. And even if they have given you a quote, you can skip the quote. Just write what the quote means, or just write what you understand by the context of the quote and why the quote has been used. So avoid idioms, quotes, phrases, and keep it as simple as you can, because quotes are going to consume a lot of words, and it will consume what you actually can convey in just 2 words. You have to actually write the quote and convey it. So do not use quotes, idioms, phrases. Skip the quotes, idioms, phrases if they have given you. And fourth thing, choose an attractive title. Now your title is going to play a very important role, especially in MPSC. They do expect you to have an attractive title. They want you to be very innovative, or to have a catchy title, so that they get interested in reading the Pressy. So what the title does is, it actually shows that you understand the Pressy. So if your title is catchy, and if it's very, very relevant, and if you hit the bullseye with the title, your half of the work is done. So the examiner understand that you have understood the passage, and the tone is set for your passage. So it's very important that you have a good title which is very relevant to the passage that they have given you, and it should be very catchy to the eyes of the examiner, so that he feels interested in reading what you have written in the Pressy. So title, very, very important. Think for 2-3 minutes on the title and give a good title. Now the points that you have to follow before you draft the final Pressy is that make a rough structure. Now these are the point. Before I told you the points that you have to follow while writing and while summarizing your passage. Now how to do that? Make a rough structure. Same thing that we used to do for essay, you have to do for Pressy, but do not take time, because you have only 15 to 20 minutes to do all of this. So make a rough structure, in the sense, just underline the passage and underline the important points, and just frame it in your mind, and just have a rough idea as to, I'll cover this in the first line, I'll cover this in the second, and this is how I am going to write the Pressy. So make a rough structure in your mind. Even if you don't write it down, have a rough structure in your mind before proceeding with the Pressy. Read it once to check if you have covered all the points, and if there are any mistakes, if there is a grammatical mistake, just read it once before you finalize the draft and before you proceed further. So read it once to check if you've covered all the points that you had underlined in the passage. So you have to cover all the points that you have underlined in the passage. Draft the final Pressy once the points are included. So if once all the points are included in the Pressy, then you can draft the final Pressy. You can write it in the box. So that is when you write it in the box. And when we talk about the when we talk about MPSC, you should not forget to write the Prezi in the box that is provided, in the place and the columns that are provided to you. So do not forget this. I've seen people. Please make a correction as to do not forget. I've seen people forgetting to write in the very box that was provided, and I was one of those people as well, because in my last attempt, like my 2018 attempt, I had written the Prezi at the very back. After my translation, I wrote the Prezi, and that was also one of the reasons why I lost my marks. So do not do that. Do not do this mistake. Write the Prezi in the box that is provided to you. That is very important. Now let's go through the Prezi that I've given you. This is 2018 paper. So I'll just tell you how to go about the Prezi. Like, I'll tell you some points that you should remember and that you should follow while doing this Prezi. So this is a 2018 paper. Let's read it. Real history should deal not with a few individuals here and there, but with the people who make up a nation, who work and by their labor produce the necessaries and luxuries of life, and who in 1,000 different ways act and react on each other. So the first sentence itself shows that it is talking about something related to history and something related to history of individuals. Okay, that is the first thing that we got, that we should not talk about a few people, but we should talk about the men in general, so common people basically, okay, who have strived hard to produce the necessities and the luxuries of life. That is what we understood from here. Now let's proceed. Such a history of a man would really be a fascinating story. Okay, fine. Not that important. It will be a fascinating story. It would be the story of man's struggle through the ages against nature and the elements, against the wild beasts and the jungle, and last and most difficult of all, against some of his own kind who have tried to keep him down and to exploit him for their own benefit. Okay, so now here we are talking about his struggles through the ages. So, nature, elements, wild beast, jungle, and some of his own kind. So, he has to struggle through all these things, uh, and that history is going to be a fascinating story. So, it is this story that we are talking about. So, we have to write the history in this manner. Okay, now we understood that we have to talk about his struggles and how he has, lived all this while. Then it is the story of man's struggle for a living. Okay, it's a story of man's struggle for a living. That is what it was all about. And because now this is a repetition, if you see. In the first line also they talked about the labor produced the necessaries of and luxuries of life and how he worked for it. Again they are talking about the same thing, man's struggle for a living. Then in the second line also it talked about the same thing, that man's struggle through the ages against nature and elements, wild beasts. So it's basically just man's struggle through life and through for a living. Next, and because in order to live, certain things like food and shelter and clothing in cold climates are necessary, those who have controlled these necessities have lorded it over man. The rulers and the bosses have had authority because they owned or controlled some essentials of livelihood, and their control gave them the power to starve people. So there were some necessities. If you could control those necessities, you could rule the man. You could rule the common people, basically. So the rulers and the bosses have had the authority because they owned and controlled some of these essential livelihoods, and only because of this they could control the man and the common people. And their control gave them the power to starve the people into submission. So if they could control the necessities, they could starve the people if they do not submit to the ruler or to the king. And so we see the strange sight of large masses being exploited by the comparatively few. That is why we see that the large masses are controlled by a few kings and emperors that we have. of some who earn without working at all, and of the vast numbers who work but earn very little. Okay. So, some who earn without working at all means that there was a hierarchy. So, people used to get the kingship through their birth, and there was a hierarchy into it. So, if you're an heir to the throne, you will get it without working at all for it. And vast number who work but earn very little. So these are the people, the king's children are the ones who earn without even working at all. But there are other people, the masses, who work a lot, but they earn very little. So this is the irony of our world, and this is what we need to highlight in the history basically. So we need to talk about the history from common man's point of view basically, is what the theme of this passage is all about. Now, first thing that comes to my mind is what my title should be. So, after reading itself, you should get an idea as to what your title is going to be or how you're going to proceed about the passage. So, I would have written a title like Rewriting the History of Mankind, or Rewriting the History of Man, or Mankind, whichever. Now, my title is done. Okay. So now keep it aside. Now highlight the important points here. So real history should deal not with a few individuals here and there, but with who make up a nation. Okay. So now this is a very important point. The first sentence is very important. That is actually the gist of the whole passage. Now go about writing as to history has always been written from a point of view of the exploiter, or of the point of view of a very few people, but it should have rather been written from a point of view of people who actually make up the nation, who actually work for the nation, and who have struggled through ages against nature, elements, wild beasts, jungle, and most of nature, elements, wild beasts, jungle. Do not write last and most of all difficult. Just write nature, elements, wild beast, jungle, and their own kind also. That and their own kind as well. So that can be your second sentence. Then you can go about it's a story of man's struggle. Just skip that part. Then you can write about the necessities part. So the people who have controlled the necessities. So you can first talk about that there are a few necessities that are important to the man and his survival. If those are controlled by a few people, they can actually rule the man and the common people. You can just write man. Man is what they are talking about. So just write about that, and then just end the para with the necessities. So this is an irony in our society, or this is an irony. Not do not write society because that is not mentioned here. Just write that this is the irony that we see through history, that there are people who earn without working at all, and there are a vast number of masses who work but earn very little. But add a last sentence wherein you actually write that this is where we need to change, and we need to rewrite the history from the point of view of these masses who earn very little. So that is a gist of your passage. You can reframe it, you can improvise on this, but I have given you a slight idea as to how you should proceed. You have to first read the passage very carefully and understand the theme. So understanding the theme is very important. So here they have proceeded from writing about from the point of view of the man, and understanding that what are the struggles of the man throughout the history, and how he has come up to this, and what are the struggles for what all struggles he took for his living. And then they came to the part wherein they talked about that whoever controlled the necessities were the ones who could rule on us. So it's about the necessities, and these necessities were controlled by a few people, and that's why they could rule us. So that needs to change, and we need to give a point of view from the perspective of the common people and the masses who worked but did not earn as much. So that is about the Pressy. I'll give you a write up on this one passage, and I will write it properly and give it to you if you all want. But I want you guys to actually take efforts and actually come up with something innovative and something even more interesting than I have told you. So please practice this Prezi, because Prezi is all about practicing. It can have n number of perspectives. You can write it from n number of point of views. So I really want to see how you write it, because I will give you one perspective, but I want you to think more broadly and come up with different perspectives of Prezi writing as well. So what kind of title do you suggest? What kind of intro do you start with? How do you end the Prezi with? So I want to see your perspective. Now I have given you one perspective as to how I would have done it, but I want to see how you would have done it. So please practice this Prezi. And not just this, do practice the 5 year 5 previous year papers, as I've told you. At least 5 you have to practice. So this is one of it. Now these are some of the steps that you need to follow. I have already discussed this. Read the passage, understand the theme, prepare the rough structure, and then write it in the space that is provided to you. Remember these steps while writing the Prezi. Now let's come to the translation part. Now this is again a very important part, because it has 15 marks weightage, so we cannot neglect on the translation, and it is going to be a big para for you. So again, how to practice? Same things: previous year papers, classes test papers, newspaper, the editorials that they have given you. If you're reading the Marathi editorial, please translate it into English. If you're reading the English editorial, please translate into Marathi. That is going to be your practice. And do simple editorials in the beginning. Do not go for very complicated words. Go for You can go for Indian Express, or you can go for Times of India, whichever paper you think is a bit simpler to read. You can go with those editorials and start with those editorials and translate those. So while reading Marathi newspaper, you have to translate it to English, at least one para or two paras. Like start small and then proceed further. Then for translation, this thing is very important. The fourth point that I've written, that make a list of the words and their translation in English. So whenever you come across any word, you have to make a list of that word. You have to write it down in your notes, and you have to translate it into English. Or if you come across a English word, you have to translate it into Marathi. So you have to have a list. So you have to have a list of what it means in English and what it means in Marathi. Even while reading simple things like what does practice mean in Marathi. So under pressure in exam, simple words also we can confuse. And under that pressure, it's very difficult to remember and recollect such words. So it is always it's always beneficial that you have a list ready of the words and their translation in English. That is why making a list of the words and their translation is very important. So remember that even simple words, like we could not recollect what calendar means, or we could not recollect what the word for statue is, किंवा मूर्ती, असे हे शब्द तिथे नाही आठवत. So please have a list of simple words as well. Then again, this thing is very important for translation, because you can get a translation on different topics. So please try to cover one small passage at least on different topics like history, geography, social issues, polity, economics, technology, space, environment, security. These are very concise topics that I've given you, but even if you cover these many topics, I think you will be prepared for the exam. You will be able to tackle whichever passage they give you. So remember to cover at least one para on each of these topics, so that you come across the difficult words that are related to these topics. And that is all that I want you to do. I want you all to come across some words which are difficult to translate, and which might get difficult when they actually appear in the exam. So beforehand, please be prepared for all such words and all such passages. So it is important that you cover at least one para on different topics. Now come to the next slide, and I'll help you translate this passage, and let's proceed with this passage. So चित्रपटांचा प्रसार दिवसेंदिवस वाढत चालला आहे. Now very simple sentence. If you see it in Marathi, very simple sentence. Again, this is a 2018 paper. If you see the essay topic, it's an ideal teacher and corruption. So corruption we have already covered. So you've already practiced corruption. Today you can practice an ideal teacher also, because teacher also can be a topic because of the global teacher prize and all the events happening regarding teachers, and also because of covid. So do practice this topic as well, an ideal teacher. So today you can practice an ideal teacher as an essay topic. So let's translate the passage. सो चित्रपटांचा प्रसार दिवसेंदिवस वाढत चालला आहे. सो this has simple words. The only tricky word could be prasar, because there are different interpretations of prasar. आता प्रसार म्हणजे स्प्रेडिंग, प्रसार म्हणजे पब्लिसिटी, प्रसार म्हणजे dissemination. So the perfect word that I think in this context is actually dissemination. So the dissemination of movies is increasing day by day. Okay, you can use publicity also. Movies, films, depends on you what you use as चित्रपटासाठी तुम्हाला जे योग्य शब्द वाटतं, you can use that, because it has different words to it. So that is your choice. So I would say use films or use cinema instead of movies. Films is a more, म्हणजे in this context films suits pretty well, so go for that. मग दूरदर्शनवर तर बऱ्याचदा चित्रपटांचेच कार्यक्रम असतात. सो दूरदर्शन ऑफन शोज प्रोग्राम्स रिलेटेड टू फिल्म्स. दॅट इज युअर सिम्पल सेंटेन्स. सो फर्स्ट अंडरस्टँड द सेंटेन्स. दूरदर्शनवर तर बऱ्याचदा. नाव these are simple सेंटेन्स. यात काही ट्रिक नाही आहे, बट द वे यू फॉर्म द सेंटेन्स इज गोइंग टू बी ट्रिकी. So I am giving you simple sentences. So Doordarshan often shows programs related to films. Now other thing is लोक, त्यातही विद्यार्थी तरुण हे आपल्या अभ्यास, आपली कामे बाजूला ठेवून देहभान विसरून चित्रपट पाहत बसतात. Now this can simply be written as people. लोक is people. त्यातही म्हणजे especially. Students. Okay, विद्यार्थी students. तरुण young. So you can write young, who are young असं लिहू शकता तुम्ही, की people especially students who are young, किंवा young students असं लिहू शकता. कीप देअर, आता हे आपला अभ्यास म्हणजे कीप देअर स्टडीज, देअर वर्क असाइड and their work aside and lose their consciousness while watching movies किंवा films. सो देहभान इज लिटरल मीनिंग आहे कॉन्शियसनेस, आणि दुसरं काही इथे मला म्हणजे कॉन्टेक्स्ट वाईज आय एम नॉट गेटिंग अनदर वर्ड, सो आय थिंक यू शुड गो विथ दिस, आणि यू कॅन राईट इट ॲज लूज द कॉन्शियसनेस वाईल वॉचिंग मूवीज फिल्म्स अँड एंड अप हार्मिंग देअर लाईफ अ लॉट. सो आणि आपल्या आयुष्याचे खूप नुकसान करून घेतात. आयुष्य, लाईफ, खूप, अ लॉट, नुकसान, हार्म. सो दे एंड अप म्हणजे नुकसान करून घेतात. सो यू हॅव टू राईट इट इन अ वे की दे एंड अप हार्मिंग देअर लाईफ अ लॉट. ओके, दॅट इज युअर फर्स्ट सेंटेन्स. आता हे तुम्ही जेव्हा खूप प्रॅक्टिस केलेली असेल, ऑर यू हॅव ऑलरेडी डन अ लिस्ट ऑफ वर्ड्स, दॅट टाईम इट विल कम व्हेरी इझिली टू यू. So for translation you have to give 25 minutes max. Okay, max 25 minutes. त्याच्यावरती you cannot give for translation, because time management is an important thing when you talk about the descriptive paper. Now let's go to the next para. सुमारे 90 वर्षापूर्वी चित्रपटाला जन्माला घालणारे दादासाहेब फाळके यांच्या मनात मनोरंजन हा चित्रपटाचा एक उद्देश होताच. नाव सुमारे means approximately 90 years ago. 90 वर्षापूर्वी चित्रपटाला जन्माला घालणारे म्हणजे हू गेव बर्थ टू सिनेमा. दादासाहेब फाळके यांच्या मनात म्हणजे इन हिज हार्ट ही डेफिनेटली हॅड एंटरटेनमेंट ॲज अन ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह, बट विथ दॅट ही ऑल्सो हॅड सोशल अवेकनिंग ॲज वन ऑफ इट्स ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. So that is going to be, I'll repeat the whole sentence for you. Approximately 90 years ago, the one who gave birth to cinema, comma, Dada Saheb Phalke, comma, in his heart, not only had entertainment as one of its objective, but the father of cinema, because अजून एकदा त्यांनी जन्मदात्याचा उद्देश असं दिलेलं आहे. So you have to again write Janmadata. You can write the father of cinema because he is called father of cinema. or you can write again, you can explain it in who gave birth to. But I think the father of cinema fits very well here. So write the father of cinema also had social awakening as another objective. So this is your whole sentence. Okay. नाव त्यामुळे चित्रपटाच्या प्रारंभीच्या काळात पौराणिक व ऐतिहासिक विषयांवरच जास्त चित्रपट निघाले. नाव त्यामुळे चित्रपटाच्या प्रारंभिक काळात म्हणजे इनिशियल डेज किंवा इनिशियल पिरियड असं तुम्ही म्हणू शकता. पौराणिक म्हणजे मायथॉलॉजी, ऐतिहासिक म्हणजे हिस्टॉरिक, विषयांवर म्हणजे सब्जेक्ट्स, जास्त म्हणजे मोर, सिनेमा वॉज बेस्ड ऑन. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, in the initial days of cinema or initial days of films, so here cinema looks better. So initial days of cinema, uh, the subject was related to mythology and historic. So uh, that you can write. I'll tell you the whole sentence and I'll frame it well for you. So because of this kiva due to this, or one of the two you can use. In the initial period of cinema or films, the films that released nighale. So nighale sati you cannot see leave. Okay, that would be literal, but you have to understand the context again. So films are always released. So the films that released were based on mythology and historical subjects. So films were based on mythological and historical subjects. That is your another translation. पण आजचे चित्रपट खरोखरच मनोरंजनाच बरोबर समाज प्रबोधन करतात का? नाव दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन. आजच्या चित्रपटांचा समाजावर खरोखरच काही परिणाम होतो का? ओके. नाव बट डू टुडेज फिल्म्स क्रिएट सोशल अवेकनिंग अलॉंग विथ एंटरटेनमेंट? नाव दिस इज सिम्पल. आपल्याला समाज प्रबोधन, इफ वी गेट दॅट वन वर्ड, बिकॉज दॅट इज रिपीटेड अ लॉट, सो यू शुड नॉट मेक अ मिस्टेक वाईल रायटिंग समाज प्रबोधन. Some of you can also think of it as social awareness, but awakening and or enlightenment could be a better word, and I have used awakening. Okay, because awareness is more close to jagrukta and prabodhan is more close to awakening or enlightenment. So you can use two of the words, awakening or enlightenment. And the last sentence that we have is, are today's films truly creating any impact on society? आता खरोखरच दिलं आहे त्यांनी. सो हिअर मेनी पीपल कॅन थिंक रिअली पण येऊ शकतं. रिअली इज ऑल्सो अ गुड वर्ड टू यूज, बट आय वुड सजेस्ट यू टू यूज ट्रूली, बिकॉज ट्रूली इज खरोखरच. सो आर टुडेज फिल्म्स ट्रूली क्रिएटिंग एनी इम्पॅक्ट ऑन द सोसायटी इज युअर लास्ट सेंटेन्स. देन लेट्स प्रोसीड टू द नेक्स्ट वन. आज हे सारे प्रश्न खरोखरच चिंतनीय झाले आहेत. आता इथे चिंतनीय इज द वर्ड दॅट यू हॅव टू कॉन्सन्ट्रेट ऑन. व्हॉट इज चिंतनीय? चिंता म्हणजे काय? वरी. नाव चिंतनीय म्हणजे काय? वरी सम. सो दॅट इज हाऊ यू फॉर्म अ वर्ड. सो टुडे दीज क्वेश्चन्स हॅव ट्रूली बिकम वरीसम. खरोखरच, अगेन देर इज खरोखरच, सो ट्रूली अगेन. प्रश्न इज क्वेश्चन, सो इट्स सिम्पल. टुडे these questions have truly become worrisome. Next we'll go to, so I am actually reading the sentence and then actually going to the words and then actually framing the sentence together and then putting it through. सो जसं सेंटेन्स दिलं आहे तसं लिटरली ते ट्रान्सलेट करायला नका जाऊ. आधी सेंटेन्स वाचा, त्यातले जे मेन शब्द आहेत ते ट्रान्सलेट करून घ्या. म्हणजे यू नो, इन युअर माइंड जस्ट ट्रान्सलेट दोज वर्ड्स, हॅव दोज वर्ड्स रेडी, आणि मग फ्रेम अ गुड सेंटेन्स ग्रामॅटिकली. त्यानंतर या चित्रपटांचा विद्यार्थी वर्गावर अनेकदा वाईट परिणाम झाल्याचे उदाहरणं आहेत. उदाहरणे इज एक्झाम्पल्स. परिणाम इज अफेक्ट, इम्पॅक्ट, however you use it. विद्यार्थी, स्टुडंट्स. सो चित्रपटांचा विद्यार्थी वर्गावर अनेकदा वाईट परिणाम झाल्याची उदाहरणं आहेत. सो this is one sentence. Okay, so you should have read the whole sentence. Now I already translated the first one, but I'll give you the whole sentence. So today these questions have truly become worrisome as there are many examples of these films having an adverse impact on students. Okay, that is your sentence. So white साठी मी adverse यूज केलं. You can use bad also, but you have to see the context and then use an appropriate word. And for this, your vocabulary is going to come handy. So this is where you have to increase the vocabulary so that you can use the most appropriate word while translating and while writing the précis also. द नेक्स्ट थिंग वी हॅव इज त्यामुळे पालक चिंताग्रस्त झाले आहेतच. सो आहेतच आहे म्हणून यू हॅव टू यूज अ वर्ड डेफिनेटली हिअर. सो दॅट इज वाय वी यूज ड्यू टू दिस पेरेंट्स आर डेफिनेटली वरीड. सो चिंताग्रस्त वरीड. समाजधुरीण ही अस्वस्थ झालेली आहे. ओके, नाव अस्वस्थ इज रेस्टलेस. सो दिस इज अगेन अ सिम्पल sentence to translate. Then there is चित्रपटांतील रंगीबेरंगी जीवन. Now रंगीबेरंगी जीवन, colorful life. Now colorful life is a very simple word and a very simple translation that you have. So write the colorful life portrayed. So we'll just read the sentence first and then we'll translate it. चित्रपटांतील रंगीबेरंगी जीवन, श्रमाविना मिळणारी श्रीमंती, ऐश्वर्य, उपभोग या सर्व बाबी विद्यार्थ्यांना आकर्षित करतात. ओके, सो दिस इज आवर वन सेंटेन्स की दिस ॲक्च्युली अट्रॅक्ट्स द स्टुडंट्स. वॉट ऑल अट्रॅक्ट्स द स्टुडंट्स? कलरफुल लाईफ इन मूवीज, wealth without efforts, without hard work. Aishwarya, now Aishwarya also means wealth, but you have already used wealth for Shrimanti, so you should come up with a different word. So you can use prosperity. So you have to use prosperity. Upabhog is actually consumption, but in this context, it can mean enjoyment, kiva pleasure. So don't write consumption because that does not fit here in this context. So write pleasure or you can write enjoyment. Write a simple word like enjoyment. या सर्व बाबी विद्यार्थ्यांना आकर्षित करतात. So that is your sentence. I'll just tell you the whole sentence. The colorful life portrayed in cinema, comma, wealth acquired without hard work, comma, prosperity, comma, pleasure or enjoyment attracts students towards it. That is your whole sentence. Now चित्रपटातून दाखवल्या जाणाऱ्या वागण्या बोलण्याच्या लकबी, पोशाखाची तऱ्हा, एकूणच जगण्याची शैली तरुण वर्गाकडून चटकन उचलली जाते. ओके, नाव दिस इज द पोर्ट्रेयल. अगेन इट इज डेपिक्टेड इन द सिनेमा, सो यू हॅव टू राईट द पोर्ट्रेयल ऑफ all these things in cinema. So the portrayal of mannerisms of behavior and speech. Now lakbi sati there is no exact word that I could come up with, but there is a close word, mannerism. So I think mannerism fits very well, kiva the manner of behavior and the manner of speech. So the portrayal of the manner of speech and behavior, the way of dressing, your poshakachi tarha is the way of dressing. Then there is Jivan Shaili, Jagnachi Shaili is your lifestyle. So the way of dressing, the overall lifestyle portrayed in the films are picked up quickly by the youngsters. So Tarun Varga is youngsters. So that is your sentence, is picked up quickly by the youngsters. Ata, I want you to try the last para on your own because it is on the same lines and it is not that difficult. सो काही शब्द आहेत अब्जावधी वगैरे, दॅट इज बिलियन, यू नो ऑल दीज शब्द. असं काही म्हणजे देर इज नो डिफिकल्ट वर्ड ॲज सच अँड आय थिंक यू कॅन ट्रान्सलेट इट व्हेरी वेल. सो आय हॅव जस्ट गिवन यू हाऊ टू गो अबाउट इट अँड आय थिंक यू शुड प्रोसीड इन द सेम वे. जस्ट read the sentence, understand the sentence, translate the main words in your mind and then frame the sentence properly so that it sounds grammatically right and it is grammatically right. So that is an important thing. So if you keep it less complicated and if you frame it well, you won't even make grammatical mistakes. But for this, practice is the only key. It is not going to come easy. You have to practice previous year papers, previous year translations and précis. You have to practice the test series that you're giving, any test paper. कोणत्याही क्लासचा टेस्ट पेपर घ्या, त्यात जे तुम्हाला पॅसेजेस दिलेत ते ट्रान्सलेट करून बघा, बिकॉज दॅट इज द ओनली वे यू आर गोइंग टू गेट कम्फर्टेबल विथ द वर्ड्स, गेट कम्फर्टेबल विथ फ्रेमिंग द वर्ड्स. देर इज नो अदर वे टू ट्रान्सलेशन and pressing. Now I was going to talk a little about vocabulary and how to build your vocabulary. The first thing is English newspaper. I've already emphasized a lot on English newspaper and why reading it is important, because they use the words that are used by competitive exams and for competitive exams. So they have the relevant words that you need to know. That is why English newspapers become very important. Second thing, dictionary. Have a dictionary on your phone or have a small pocket dictionary. So we used to carry pocket dictionary and we used to म्हणजे कोणताही नवीन वर्ड, इफ वी कम अक्रॉस अ न्यू वर्ड, वी यूज टू चेक इट इन द डिक्शनरी and we used to write it down in our notes, or we used to highlight it there. So having a dictionary is very important. If in life also you should have a good vocabulary. Why not have a good vocabulary? So having a dictionary is important. In your phone now it is very easily available, so you can have a Oxford dictionary on your phone or any dictionary that is easily available. So have that app on your phone. Then there is a book. If some of you are interested in actually increasing your vocabulary or improving the way you form sentences, there is a book, Words Power Made Easy. It's a small book, but if you do it religiously every day, if you do some chapters every day, it will actually help you build your vocabulary, and it will actually help you frame good sentences and how to use the appropriate word while translating and while doing pressy writing. So all those preparing for mains, you do not have so much time and liberty to do this, but those preparing for next year or those preparing for next to next year can actually work on the vocabulary part and work for the 1 mark that is important to you. So that is another thing you can do. And practice, I cannot emphasize enough on practice. I have always told you, please, please, please keep practicing. Even if it's Marathi descriptive, even if it's English descriptive, the only thing that is going to get you through is practice. Even if you talk about essay, anything that you talk about descriptive, that is going to be solved, and you can tackle that problem only with practice. So please keep practicing. The next thing, these are some important words that I felt that I could share with you, but I cannot give you 100 words list in the PPT itself or a 50 words list. But I came up with some words that you can use. Abate is make less intense or reduced. So abating a cyclone or abating a storm is something that that is how you can use the word abate. Then object is present to maximum degree, so something that is present to maximum degree. So when we say there is object poverty in India, so that is how you use that word. Then alleviate is reduce. Alleviate we all are aware of. So alleviating somebody's troubles, alleviating poverty, so all these things, this is how you can use this word. Ambiguity means unclear. So he is ambiguous about his decision is the word that you can use. Ambiguity is for unclear. Then complacent, self-satisfied or pleased. Somebody who doesn't want to progress, or somebody who doesn't want to achieve more, who is self-satisfied with whatever he has achieved. So many a times bureaucrats are called complacent. This sometimes it's said that bureaucrats have become complacent. They don't want to achieve and go out of the box, think out of the box. So that is how you can use complacent. Condemn is when you disapprove of something, when you condemn somebody's action. I completely condemn what he has said, or I completely condemn how he has acted. So that is how you can use condemn. Detrimental is something that is causing harm. Corruption is detrimental to our society. That is how you can use detrimental. Expedite is to speed up. So you need to expedite the process so that we achieve a goal faster, we achieve the goal earlier. So we need to expedite our environmental efforts so that we achieve the sustainable development goals. That is how you can use the word expedite. Hostile is somebody who is unfriendly, who is antagonistic. Now antagonistic is again another word that you've come across with. So hostile means something unfriendly. So Pakistan is our hostile neighbor. That is how you can use the word hostile. Indigenous, we all know, originating where it is found. So we are indigenously building a plane, or we are indigenously building a fighter plane. That is how you can use the word indigenous. Then there is laudable. Laudable is praiseworthy. So there are two words that you can use. You can either use praiseworthy or you can use laudable. So somebody's efforts are laudable. That is when you can use laudable. he has done so much for the society that his efforts are laudable. That is how you can use the word laudable. Obscure is again same as ambiguity, but obscure means something that is not clear. So it's very obscure, that is why I cannot see it. So that is where you use the word obscure. It is very obscure to understand. That is how you can use the word obscure. So now these are very few words that I've given you, but if you all are interested, I can actually give you the whole list of vocabulary from the Hindu or from the editorials that we actually come across. So do let me know if you want a list of all these words. I can definitely provide you the list. So I have discussed the paper, which was the 2018 paper. I am not going to spoon feed you with everything, but I want you all to also try and come up with your own innovative perspectives and try to solve the pressy, try to solve the translations. So, I've already given you how to go about it and how to proceed with it. I hope that helps you, and I hope you keep practicing so that you perfect the translation and the pressy and you do not have a problem in the future. So, here we come to the end of the course. If you all want, I can take a session on one more previous year paper if you want me to discuss it, but I think you know the gist as to how to go about it, so I'm not going to discuss each and every word, and I'm not going to translate each and every word. But if you really want, if you all if some of you actually want it, I can do one more session for you. And also I wanted to tell you that I'll be taking one session for the mains candidates who all have qualified for the mains and who are preparing for the mains. So if you want any guidance related to mains, so I will be taking one session on the particularly related to mains and how you should be studying for the next 2.5 months and what your approach should be. So I'll be taking one lecture on that, and there will be one more session that I'll be taking. So the dates and everything and when the session will be, I'll let you know. I'll post it on the channel, and I'll be taking one more session for the people who could not qualify and who are preparing for the next attempt, so that they are also, you should not feel demotivated and you should keep up your hard work and you should keep doing your efforts, because definitely there is a next time and you will definitely achieve it. You're just you're close but you're just not there. So just for those people also, for all your doubts, I can take one more session. So there will be two sessions that I'll be taking, one for the mains candidates and one for the people who are preparing for the next prelims. So please send in your queries so that I can talk about the specific topics that you want me to talk about. Okay, so just send in your queries in the comment section. Just write your queries on any of the comment, or I'll put it out for the very session, and you can write your queries, and I'll cover those queries in the that very session. So here we come to the end of the course. I hope it has helped you, and I hope it helps you in your coming exams as well. I have also provided you with the write ups and the PDFs and the PowerPoints that I have prepared for you all. Also, about the recordings, now that we have come to the end of the course, I will be providing the recordings in some days. So just be patient. All those asking for recordings, I'm going to provide you the recordings, and I'll tell you where I'll be providing the recordings. Either it will be on the Telegram group itself, or I'll provide it on the YouTube channel. But I'll provide you the recordings. So be rest assured that you will get the recordings of the sessions that I have taken. Uh, so that is it from my side. I hope you've enjoyed and have had fun during these sessions, and I hope these are helpful for you in your preparation in some way or the other. Now, if you have any doubts specific to translation or pressy, you can ask. But if there are any other doubts, generalistic doubts, please text me on my number, or please leave it in the comment section. I'll definitely go through it. So, if anybody has any doubts related to translation and pressy, you can go ahead. Thank you all for making this course very successful. All you around 200 candidates who are very serious and who have always been there from the very first day. Thank you so much. It's because of you that I've continued and I have taken this course completely. So, thank you. I would also like to thank my brother, because he has been very helpful and handy in providing all the setup, the recordings, and everything is going to be done by my brother. So, thank you to him too. And all those people who have supported me during this course and before the course. So, I would like to thank them also. So, now I am open to questions. If you have any questions related to translation and Prezi, you can ask. I've covered most of the topics, but if still you have any question, you can ask. Sneha, unmute yourself and ask your question. Sneha, you can ask your question. Okay, Sachin, you can ask your question. Go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. Sachin, please ask your question. Sachin Warbe. J. Anup, you can ask your question. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
हॅलो मॅम.
Hello, yeah.
मॅम आता जे तुम्ही प्रेसी डिस्कस केला 2018चा
Hmm.
त्यामध्ये त्याला आपण सबअल्टर्न हिस्ट्री वे फॉरवर्ड असं दिलं तर ते म्हणजे आपली ऍडिशन वाटेल का म्हणजे जीएस चा ओपिनियटेड वाटेल का जर असं टायटल दिलं तर सबअल्टर्न हिस्ट्री वे फॉरवर्ड.
Yeah, you can use this, but keep it simple. You can use this. There is no problem. You can use this topic. You can use this title.
ओके, थँक्यू मॅम.
Welcome. Okay, anybody else? See, about Prezi and translation, it's only with practice that you will come across that you can solve this. So just keep practicing. There is nothing else that you can do with Prezi and translation. There are tricks and there are tricks to writing and framing the sentences, but that are not going to be that helpful because you never know what kind of a sentence they will give you. So even if we saw the cinema related translation, it was a very complicated sentences. There you cannot use the first person, second person. आता मी ते tricks तुम्हाला सांगू शकते, but we don't know what kind of a passage are you going to get. So it's always better that you practice the different passages that they have already given you in the previous year paper, so that you get an idea as to what kind of a passage they'll give you next time also. So practice is the only key when we talk about translation and Prezi. So keep doing that. That is the only thing that is going to help you. And different topics, I am again emphasizing on this. Solve different translations on different topics. Security, स्पेसवर पण एक आपल्याला ट्रान्सलेशन आलं होतं इन प्रिव्हियस इयर पेपर्स. इफ यू सी हिस्ट्रीवर पण एक ट्रान्सलेशन होतं. इफ यू सी टिपू सुलतानवर आपल्याला एक ट्रान्सलेशन होतं. सो असे जे सगळे ट्रान्सलेशन्स आहेत, दोज आर रिलेटेड टू सम टॉपिक ऑर दी अदर. सो इट्स ईदर हिस्ट्री, इट्स ईदर जॉग्रफी, इट्स ईदर सायन्स, इट्स ईदर टेक्नोलॉजी. So all such topics you need to practice different passages on different topics. Only then you will get comfortable with those words. Okay, so keep practicing. And also write an essay on an ideal teacher. I want you all to practice an essay on an ideal teacher because that is also a very important topic. Something related to teacher. You can write an ideal teacher. That is a good topic for you to, practice an essay based on a teacher topic. So I think.
हॅलो.
Hello.
हॅलो मॅम.
Hello.
मॅम एक क्वेश्चन होता.
Right.
मॅम टायटल हे शॉर्ट असायला पाहिजे की लॉंग असायला पाहिजे?
It depends on you, but it should not be a sentence. Okay, keep it short. Like rewriting history is again a lengthy title, but you can use it. So it can be long, but don't make it a sentence. Okay, try to keep it short.
ओके.
ओके.
तर मॅम सेकंड क्वेश्चन असा आहे की जेव्हा आपण प्रिसे लिहितो त्याच्या अगोदर वर्ड काउंट करायची का?
हो हो हो. सो आत्ता जो प्रिसी होता दॅट वॉज अ 212 अराउंड 210च्या वरती देवर वर्ड्स. सो यू हॅव टू राईट इट इन 70 वर्ड्स. सो यू हॅव टू काउंट द वर्ड्स. प्लीज काउंट द वर्ड्स अँड डू नॉट क्रॉस द वर्ड लिमिट. ओके.
ओके मॅम, थँक्यू मॅम.
जस्ट ब्रॉडली काउंट द वर्ड्स. असं नाही की तुम्ही काउंटच करत बसले, बट ब्रॉडली सी की 200च्या वरती आहे, 200च्या 210 जवळ आहे की 220च्या जवळ आहे. सो हॅव अ ब्रॉड आयडिया अँड दॅट इज हाऊ यू शुड प्रोसीड. Okay, I think we'll end our session here. Ani, most of the doubts I've taken. Even if you still have any doubts, please post it in the comment section, or please message it to me, and I'll try to reply as soon as I can. But it takes me time to go through all the messages, so just be patient. I'll definitely solve your query, I'll definitely answer your questions, but be patient because I've already been talking to some of you. I have been in contact with some of you. I have already guided some of you. So I will guide you as and when I get time and as and when it is possible for me. So just be patient. Keep posting your queries. In the comment section also you can post your queries and I will go through it. And about the RTI, many of you have asked me for my paper. So yes, I have filed an RTI. Whenever I get my paper, I'll share it with you all. So be patient. I am going to share the paper with you. But I have already told you the tricks and tips that I had followed, the strategy that I had followed. So focus on this more than the paper. I'll definitely share the paper with you. But this is what is more important, as in how I got to that level, or how I improvised on my previous म्हणजे माझ्या प्रिव्हियस अटेम्प्टमध्ये आय जस्ट स्कोर्ड अ स्कोर ऑफ 27 or 28. And I also told you that I made a mistake of pressy writing. I did not write it in the place that was provided to us. I wrote it at the back. So there were some mistakes that I did during my first attempt. So those mistakes I rectified in my second attempt, and these are some things that I followed during my second attempt. So I want you all to follow these things rather than seeing how I write or all those things. I'll definitely provide you, but this is what is important. Your practice and your efforts, channelizing your efforts in the right direction is what actually matters. So focus on that thing, practice, because you are your essay is going to be unique. You cannot copy somebody's essay, or you cannot write the way somebody else writes. You have to have your unique strategy, you have to have your unique style, because that is what makes you different from the others. So practice is your only key. Keep practicing, keep working hard, keep giving your 100%, and you'll definitely succeed, not just in the descriptive paper but in state services, in any competitive service, in any competitive exam. So just keep practicing, keep working hard, and all the very best to all of you. uh, so here we come to the end of the course and end of the session. Thank you so much. Have a very good day.